Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, good evening, everybody. What's happening, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast coming to you live and direct. It's Thursday night, and y'all know what it is, man. We're going to get into a lot of things when it comes to the world of sports, man. We got the draft. The NFL draft is going on tonight. The NBA playoffs. The NHL playoffs is going on. A lot of things to talk about tonight, man. We had a draft special on this past Monday. Hey, we had a great time chopping it up with ECG. We're not actually doing a a draft party tonight, but you will know when it's time when somebody got drafted because the DA, he's going to let us know because he's got a Q tonight, man. But we'll talk about the Qs later, man. But make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bells for all the notifications. And on the podcasting side, those that listen to the sound of my voice, make sure you give us that five-star review. That's right, that 5-star review. Love us or hate us, let us know how we feel. How you feel, because we do answer back.
Yes, sir, Grimace.
Yes. You guys, you want to give smoke, and we'll give you smoke. So, look at that. Yeah, look at that. The Pistons and the Knicks mixing it up already. All right. So, like I said, a lot to get into with the world of sports, man. So we appreciate that. Let's meet the crew. DA, what's up tonight? What's going on, brother? How are you tonight, man?
I'm good, sir. We a lot going on, so it's a good night for sports, man.
It's a good night for sports, bro. I tell you, man. Like I said, man.
I want that guy. We got the fight. There's a fight. Oh, sorry.
D-Dubs, what's up, brother? How are you tonight, man?
What's up, kid?
What you got there?
Oh no, man.
Choose violence.
What's going on in the Knicks? They
fighting. They fighting.
Yeah.
Who's scrapping?
Oh, my man, Money Making Mitch. You're trying to stop the fight.
And who's number 6? Pistons. Yeah, they look like they scrapping up already.
Okay.
Good game so far. 30 to 27. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's Thursday night, man. Welcome. I'm beat, man. Long week. A lot of nonsense going on this week.
A lot of nonsense going on.
A lot of foolishness. I don't know if we're going to address everything. Some of the stuff. Listen, I'm gonna let these people address it. But
that ain't legal, honey.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're 56 years old,
you went there.
If you're 56 years old and you out there, man, I suggest that Monique said it best. Go get you somebody your age appropriate, and go take it to the house.
Go, go.
Goat man.
Go, man.
Fuck out of here, man.
Lakers in 5.
Yeah.
So you're talking like the BYU mascot, right?
Dan is on once a night.
Is that Brigham Young? Yeah.
No.
Oh,
The mascot.
the mascot.
Yeah, he went to this. He went to the school.
Brigham Young.
He went to that school.
Brigham Young. That Brigham Young.
Ooh, if you haven't hiding underneath a rock, man, there's
God.
a lot of things going on today, man. Like I said, we don't dress stuff like that, man. But
Houston's the other one, right?
Say it again.
Houston's the other one.
Yeah, Cougars. No,
Cougars.
That's the opposite. He old possum.
Man.
He old possum sitting out there.
This is the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is the way on not how to
fumble.
Don't fumble the bag, man. Please.
Oh, he threw the bag out. He didn't fumble the bag. let's not go there. You know how I feel.
Yo, family. I'm just saying, man.
He left the breadcrumbs.
The bag away.
Yo, you talk about not having discipline, like not having
He's not gonna have no money now. Huh?
Yeah, well,
how about that?
Yeah.
Self-correcting problem. I'll use the morning mantra.
self-correcting problem.
Self-correcting problem.
But God bless. I wish him the best. I wish him the best. I wish him the West.
The West.
The West and the best.
The West and the best.
The Willow Wabbit.
Westerly Wabbit.
The Westerly Wabbit.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Kev. It's something that just had to be said.
I'm with it tonight, man.
I'm so sick of these guys. I'm sick of legacy media. These guys, they promote and anoint these people, and then
speak on it.
Look at this, man. It's a mess. It's a mess, but it is what it is. They put them in these positions. They already knew the track history of this dude. So
this is the problem. Right. So dude was on a station that Kevin hates.
I'm on record. I don't have the app on
my
phone.
Kevin standing take 24 toes down on that, right?
24.
Like he 24, got all 24. He got all kind of feet on the line, right? But the funny thing is, when you have these dudes on your show and they get fired, I say, well, he stepped away. He stepped away.
Stepped away
with a foot in his ass. That's what he stepped away.
I never heard such foolishness. He stepped
fired,
away.
Right? So now check it out. You work for Disney.
He stepped away.
You got fired, right? Because they said, oh well, 3 times from 2010 to now, as Kevin says, we did smoke, there's fire. And as Shannon would say, we did smoke, there's fire. Yeah. So when the first one happened at CBS, when he was, doing the NFL, I don't know what he told the girl. Whatever it was, he got him fired, right? Then he got put on with Fox. Him and your man got put your glasses back on. But there was some other shenanigans before that.
Back on.
Put glasses
Put the glasses back on.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Right?
Okay.
So Shannon had to, go through that. Had a few things happen to him, and then, everybody, because of the way he walked into the wine place, thought maybe he's a little zesty. So he had the thing that Kev said actually can't happen, which is the Instagram live just going off out of nowhere.
Yo, D, wait, D, you said
all kind of phones on the bed and the damn thing ain't turned on. So
yeah, hold on, D. Let me go back to that zesty. Have you ever jumped out of a truck like that?
No.
I'm just saying. With the purse on.
No, I have not.
With the purse on, no, okay.
No, never. Not even my bad knees, my bad feet. Yeah, no.
Oh my
God. If I had to walk like that out the Jeep, I'd just stay the hell in the Jeep. I asked my wife to go get it because I can't. My knees hurt, my back hurt. I can't walk right now.
Jeez.
But yeah, he was wrong for that.
Yeah,
definitely wrong for the way he walked.
Yeah,
then he did the thing to make everybody say, hey, I'm not zesty. I threw the thing on the bed. And it went off, and me and the old lady did what we did. Now, this here is strike 3, and I'm not sure. In the podcast world, and this is not what we do, so I'm gonna get out of here quick.
Yeah.
In the podcast world, I don't think those rules apply as much. I think he'll lose some advertisers to the podcast he has.
Mm-hmm.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. At this point in time, you even getting these accusations, man, hurts your money. So I would say, man, listen, I am.
And not only that, though, the guy has a history of trying to pay people off. So, I mean, he tried this $10 million to make this go away.
It wasn't enough.
It wasn't, yeah.
Yesterday's price, not today's price. Hey. That's what she said. Yesterday's price, not today's price.
Hey.
You guys are just waiting for his downfall. This is shit.
Hey, I didn't do nothing with them women, man.
Yeah,
I had nothing.
I was minding my business today. Matter of fact, all week, D. We've been minding our business.
I'm in North Carolina.
Yeah,
I don't know that girl. I ain't touched her. I ain't said nothing to her. I didn't curse her out. She didn't curse me out.
$50 million.
And they asking me for 50 million. I ain't got but 5.
I just tried to go live on Instagram, and it's like 27 steps for me to go, and I'm still not live yet. I'm trying to. So I'm just saying when people was trying to convince me like, nah, man, that's what happened. I was like, no,
I do this for a living. No, that's not right.
That's not true.
That's a lie.
That's a damn lie. What are y'all talking about, man?
He said, I do this for a living. That's actually not what happened. I'm sorry.
No.
So what you're saying, he got to step 26. The doorbell rang and he forgot. And it just so happened and then accidentally hit step 27.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he
got you. Okay, I got it.
The next thing you know, he's butt naked with a woman on making noise.
Yeah.
Yep. This is what we're doing, folks.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. This is
I'm at step 26 now. I'm still trying to go live, and it's still Instagram. So we're not live on Instagram yet, but I'm just letting y'all know it takes more than just pressing a button. That's not
holding on the bed. That's just
It's just D's right about the legacy media.
No one said nothing either.
No,
all those women. I'm sorry that work at ESPN, and I'll say your names. That if anybody else did something, Aduko, what is it, Aduka?
Aduko, yeah,
from Houston, the way they crucified this dude, the way the lady crucified the player that didn't even come out of college yet. Oh yeah, well he was around. She said something about a dead dude that did something to a girl, and this happens, and no one has nothing to say.
Turn the blind eye. Didn't say nothing. That's what I'm saying. The hypocrisy of all this stuff, man.
It's like he was the president. They had like a brownout. Don't nobody say nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not a station, anything. I'm like, yo, listen, man, this is crazy, son.
But dysfunction seems to live. Whatchamacallit? I literally almost had a moment. I hate to say it when I was just before we started the show, and Dan will get into it when he does hockey, man. But Chris Drury got another contract. I don't that just boggles my mind.
That's life. That's the way it is. Yeah.
He is not Brian Cashman. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He hasn't won anything. And the dysfunction this year with the Rangers, man, I don't know. Let me get to the first story because this is really gonna piss off Mr. Albritton. And we're talking about draft stuff, and D just talked about it from CBS Sports from Cody Benjamin. He says the 2025 draft is here. It's here. It'll be on in about 11 minutes, and arguably no prospect has drawn more attention than Shedeur Sanders, the Colorado quarterback and son of former NFL great Deion Sanders. Many of these headlines have been a critical nature, with some teams reportedly declaring the big name unworthy of a first-round pick, and NFL media publishing critical commentary from an anonymous scout regarding Sanders' character on Wednesday said, one day before the start of the draft, the quarterback father, Deion, finally released his own response. It's silly to us, the elder Sanders said. Most of it is laughable. What I told him to is, son, what I've learned in my life is when it don't make sense, it's God, because some of this stuff is so stupid, it don't make sense. That means God is closing doors and opening doors to make sure you get it. You get to where you're supposed to go. DA, you were talking about this prior.
Yes.
And let me know what you think. Well, we know what you think about this.
It's like, it doesn't, these guys say what they say, right? But the reality is that, he doesn't want to be top 10. The money's different. You make money, but he has money. He has money.
Yes.
He's the son of Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he goes 2021, 22, 23 through 30, guess what he's on? A good team with a good offensive line, maybe a good running back, and maybe a good receiver.
He don't lose.
Yeah, and if you go top 10, unless, you had those years where there were trades, and he was like, damn, how did they get up that high when they won the Super Bowl last year? But we don't have that this year. So everybody in the top 10 is essentially high garbage. So you get drafted up there, and you're playing for a team that doesn't have all the pieces to win. I think it's a good thing to as a quarterback to get drafted. Look at Lamar Jackson.
Correct. That is fact, bro.
It's a good move going to the Ravens.
Yeah.
You know, what's the dude's name? Joe Burrow. You know, they weren't totally, doo-doo when he got there. They were okay, I guess. But help make them better. You know, this is what a quarterback wants to do, is to go to a good team. You really don't want to go to a trash team. So I think Cam Ward is in some trouble because he'll be in a trash team. You know, and I think, everybody else I think is gonna, and if they don't want Shedeur Sanders, I don't think it's anything against Shedeur. It's just that they don't need another quarterback. You know, people say, "Oh, they're racist and they're Rachel." No, they just don't need a quarterback. So they move.
Dog, I'm so sick of that. I mean,
that's all. It's not that bad. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Dan, your thoughts? Because Dan, I believe, wasn't Pittsburgh interviewing him a couple weeks ago, Shedeur Sanders?
Yeah, Tomlin, I guess, loves him.
Yeah, Tomlin is totally.
The question is, does it get to 21?
Yeah.
No, probably not. But
But like we talked about before we came on here, I could give two shits about the draft. You know what I mean? Just get it over with so you can see who your team picked. You don't have to have a big show and talk about everybody, where they grew up, all that other crap. Just pick them and move on.
I'm with you on that one. This has become like really, but this is the NFL trying to,
take back some time.
Yeah.
Get some money. Get some sponsors, get some money. But like, I'm out on Rodgers. I don't want him. The one that I would like to see them actually draft is that Jackson Dart kid. But
yes,
that's what seems like everybody's high on. Giants is very high on him. Jackson Dart, his draft stock has risen like crazy. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm with Dan.
I'm sorry. I don't want no rookies playing. So it really don't matter to me.
Yeah.
No rookies should start in the NFL. Kind of don't matter to me.
Well, I think we talked about that the other night on the draft special with ECG, how that, the 3-year contract, 3-year window, really, Dante was saying, really 2. And when you do that and you don't support them with any and everything, and there's 7 offensive coordinators in his first 2 years that he's there, man, how you expect the guy to succeed, man? And they absolutely throw away quarterbacks, man. You look at Tannehill when he first went to Miami first.
Yeah.
And he was down there wasting away. Then he went to Tennessee, and then looked like he gained his confidence and started playing better. They could never give him a hump in the playoffs, but he went there. You look at Sam Bradford,
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
He's had a coordinator every year he was at Chicago, I believe, and then now he went from Pittsburgh, learned a new system. Now he's going to the Jets. Just the carousel continues for him with offensive coordinators.
It's not easy for him, man. And like you said, the Tannehill, they didn't even give him the time to develop, because remember, he was a wide receiver in college. So
forgot about that. Yep.
So like dudes just for trying to like throw him out there. You're like, come on, dude, really, really, let him learn. He's not Dan Marino. Let him learn. Like, they're special guys, yes, of course. But they beat the hell out of Elway his first year. They beat the hell out of Manning his first year. Beat him half to death. My boy Andrew Luck had to quit. So it's come on, man. The reality is you got to chill and just let it happen.
And hey, man, I'm looking at the draft, and I'm like, that's a long way for him to fall to 21 if he's supposed to be like the second best quarterback.
Well, he probably is, but
Problem is, a lot of those teams don't need quarterbacks.
Yes.
The Raiders. You got the Raiders, the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints said they like. I think what's his name just got hurt, but again, you don't want him on the field.
No, no. I'm not necessarily saying that he should start, and I'm with you on that. I think, but if you talk about That's what I'm saying about the
like a
Giants.
successor.
If you need a quarterback, the Giants are going to need a quarterback for the future. Why are we playing games? I understand we got Russ and Jameis, but those guys is only going to be there 1-2 years.
Well,
to me, I'm
out.
like, hey, you need to get this guy and put him on the bench and let him learn, and then you have somebody for the future.
I know you was missing on Monday. You couldn't partially hear some of it, but Monday I said that the reason why the Giants brass did what they did, that was just totally, that was for all right, I'll let Ryan back in. That was just totally for job security.
Yeah,
they know
for sure.
If they go ahead and do that craziness,
yeah,
you know, they'll be gone. They'll be gone.
Right.
So,
they trying to save their job.
Yeah,
100%.
That's why they have those two there. I still believe if you brought those two quarterbacks into the Giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
See what you can get for the next year or two. Try to make something happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they see there's a quarterback there that they think could be a guy in a few years, then they'll draft him. But they got more needs than a quarterback, and there's always a stock of quarterbacks coming in. So next year is going to be a better quarterback class. So they can say, we wait till next year and get one. We don't have to jump out the window right now, you know, because the reality is every team would rather be picking a quarterback at 25 to 31, 32. You know why? Because that means you're a playoff team.
And I get what you're saying, but here's my fear that the team overachieves that year that you thinking that you're going to be back in a looking for a quarterback.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just about to say that. What if there's quarterbacks there, but then you don't have the picks that you don't have the pick to get them.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
That's
top three now.
That's right. That's what I'm saying, Ryan. The fear of overachieving and you get better.
That's the issue with the draft, brother. You gotta, sometimes it's the luck of the draw.
I get it. So that's what I'm saying. If it's me, I'm taking Shedeur at number 3. If I'm the Giants, that's what I'm saying. I get what you're saying.
You gotta go to the other side. Your same statement, right? And I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy that you think you want, right? And you say this is the guy. But what do you get if he's not?
Well, that's the thing.
That's the 50-50.
If you don't like them, then
don't get them.
It's easy for you.
I just believe that.
Correct, Ryan. I can't believe me and Ryan agree today. Right now, so far so good.
I can't tell you that. All I know is I think they're going to take the best player.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be the best player available. If they don't trade back, it's going to be best player available. But I don't think anybody's trading up for Abdul Carter. So there's 4 other DNs that. Sort of, like we talked about.
They would have been. They would have did this already. If they was going to trade up, I think this would have already happened.
Or trade back. That's what I mean.
Trade back.
They may try, but like I said, I don't know if I see anybody wanting to trade up. And 2, because there are 4 or 5 Abdul Carters out there. We talked about that Monday because those guys ran down a full list of DNs that was the same or in some ways better than Abdul Carter. So, no one's going to move because you can get one.
Right. And also too, DA, I mean, look at the value of the DNs and the pass rushers now. You have Hendrickson, who led a league in sacks with the worst defense.
Yep.
You have my man from Cleveland, the best DN damn near in the league.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah. Bad defense. Or not a winning franchise. You have the Cowboys with their DM / linebacker Parsons, who they've technically always probably been good, but you can see if you don't have a stable offense or just something, you just can't bank on a DN. Like you said, DA, you can go and get a DN anywhere. Like I understand he's a great talent, but if you don't have the quarterback, you can forget it. I mean,
that's my main concern.
I just think they don't. I don't think they see the value there. Yes. I just don't think they see the value there. That's all. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback.
No.
I don't think they see the value there, and they say, "Yo," because I'm watching their moves. Right? If you go to get Russell and then you go to get Jameis, neither one of those are teachers. One, right? And two, that means they're not really looking.
But those are also easy contracts to get rid of.
Correct, and they want 2 years. There's a 2 year and a 1 year deal, both of them.
Right,
I don't think they will.
Yeah,
Russ is a 1 year. Jameis is a 2 year.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing it's essentially the same thing Pittsburgh did last year.
Right.
Like with Shedeur, I think the best situation for him, I don't know how Dan feels about this, is Pittsburgh. I think that's the best situation for him.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like.
You're gonna go to a team that plays defense, that's not gonna count on you to do everything. You have skill sets now with DK Metcalf and Pickens. You have the the wide receivers, and you have a stable foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, okay, Pittsburgh hasn't won a championship in a long time, but hell, they get there. That's that's half the battle is getting there.
Yeah.
They're a winning team.
But once you get the quarterback, the whole thing. But with Pittsburgh just have not had the quarterback.
Correct.
And if they do get a quarterback, they'll be there.
Yeah.
Because I think they do everything else as well.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, don't forget tonight, those that are watching, thanks for all those that's watching on all the platforms, YouTube, Twitch. Trying to go live here on Instagram here in a second. There's little issues there, but Facebook, you
can't go live on Instagram.
Stop it.
Which step are you on?
Do that, Paul Shannon.
You're on 25.
To do it in 20 steps. So he
don't know locked up.
So, yeah,
I don't know if he said anything.
Throw it on the bed.
The NFL.
Yeah. The boy, Kev don't listen. Kev doesn't want to do things his way. You're a detective.
It's 8:00. The draft is underway, man. We'll be covering the draft as picks come in, man. You'll hear this sound from us,
and then you'll hear my voice,
and then you'll hear DA say who got drafted, because that's his cue to do what it does. But we will continue with the conversation, and then we'll go back and forth with things that's going on, man. So, but let's go to Major League Baseball real quick. Let me just holler at the power rankings here from CBS. The Padres are number one.
The Padres can you say that again, sir?
They are smoking. 8. The Dodgers are 16-9 and number 2. The Metropolitans, they've been playing well. They swept the Cardinals at home.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they're 18-7. The Cubbies are playing really well too. They're 16-10. The Yankees 15-10. They had that series in Cleveland. The Phillies are number 6. Giants are number 7. The Detroit Tigers are number 8. Texas Rangers are number 9. The Arizona Diamondbacks are at 10. The Milwaukee Brewers at 11. The Mariners are at 12. Ryan's Astros at number 13. The Blue Jays are number 14. The Red Sox 14-13. They're number 15. And as I mentioned, the Guardians, who played my Yankees, they're number 16 here in the power rankings, man. So,
did you say White Sox?
No, I did not say the White Sox.
I thought you said. I thought I heard Sox.
No,
Red Sox.
Hey,
not those Sox.
Okay, yeah, those are in the laundry.
Yeah,
I thought the Cubs is like, to me at least, watching the biggest surprise, because I had no expectation for the Cubs. So
I think with the Cubs, man, they're getting some good pitching, man. That's what I've seen from them. So,
the refs are still blanking it up, just in case you didn't know. They're still.
What's that? Oh,
bad calls.
Oh, bad calls. Who was that DA the other day? I know who you're talking about.
It was the Orioles, wasn't it?
Was it the Orioles? Man. It was, yes.
No, it wasn't. It was it might have been St. Louis.
St. Louis and the Mets?
Yeah, it was bad, man. Like, it was bad. Like, it was bad. Like, he had a problem with the manager, and I think the he rang up like 5 dudes in a row. You could do it over the head of the catcher, and it would have been a strike. literally, like, it was crazy.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was umpire Stu Shoewater missed 19 calls in the Braves game.
Why do we have the box?
Uh-oh, here we go.
I'm sorry, man. I'm done with this.
Yo, man, but DA, man, shout out to the NFL, man. They putting these guys on report cards, man. So they're doing something. So hopefully MLB will do something with these guys. Relegate them back to it.
I'm gonna do my Doge thing. I'm gonna do my Doge thing. We don't need to waste that money. Fire them. Use the box.
Well, I think the umpires union will have something to say about that.
Yeah, well, I guess some way Doge got away around a bunch of other unions. We just crack that in half and get them the hell up out of here.
So
call the ball on the strike. You got to go.
Yeah. No, it's definitely that was bad, man. Yeah, that was bad. They was absolutely talking about that the other day. Yep, and something needs to be done. Like you said, the box is there for a reason. So you need to use the box, man. Let's go to the hockey dude. Dan, what's going on in the world of hockey? I know we're going a little not fast, man, but the draft is coming on, man. So we want to,
we want to catch those 3 picks by 10.
What, the 3 picks? Even being that we're not having a draft parties per se, man, but we'll be talking about the picks as we go along. So if you hear that sound, DA is going to tell them who got picked. So go ahead, Dan.
What are you doing up there?
Oh yeah, we got the playoffs started, and no need for a power ranking now. It's best on best, and so far most series are working on game 3. I think Friday, like the Canes started their series for game 3 at home in New Jersey. Like I'm trying to think who the other one was, but so far there's been some really great hockey. Like I guess we could break it down by each matchup. Like Toronto starting in the East against Ottawa. You look at these teams on paper.
The battle for Ontario, yes.
And like the talent that's on Toronto, yes, you should beat them, and you should beat them pretty easily. But like credit, like the first game Ottawa played, apparently someone forgot to tell them it was the playoffs because they just paraded to the penalty box, like guy after guy after guy, and you can't put Toronto on the power play like that. And then they cleaned it up for the second game, and they went to overtime, and Max Domi scored the game winner there. Just a wrist shot between the circles. Very nice shot, well placed. So they're up 2-0. They're playing right now. I believe it's still 0-0 at the end of the first. And then we got Washington and Montreal. And I'll say this, like Montreal is one of the wild card teams, but they're not one of the wild card teams. Like the way they're playing, they're giving Washington all they can handle. And shout out to Logan Thompson, the goaltender for Washington. He must have a rabbit's foot in his back pocket, something.
I mean, he made an incredible save the other night, man.
He's made multiple of those, like just 10 bell saves, keeping them in the game, keeping them ahead. But like the first game, they were up. Washington was up 2-0 going into the third. Montreal came back, tied it up, forced overtime. Washington won in overtime. Guess who? Ovechkin right in the slot. I saw a meme, like a picture, and it says 900 goals score in front of the net with a circle around them. And then it had all of Montreal's defense, and they were over by where the puck was. Like they just left him completely alone in the slot. So, but then they played, was it last night? I think it was last night. And Washington won 3-1, but it was 2-1. They got the empty netter to make it 3-1 to seal the deal. But Montreal, like watching that series, Washington's the bigger, heavier team. And me and my buddy were watching the game, and I'm like, notice how every time Montreal goes to hit a guy, they're the one that gets bounced or they go down. And when Washington hits somebody, it's the other way around. They're putting the Montreal guy down. So they're a little bit bigger, heavier, kind of forcing their way on them. But give credit to Montreal. They've been hanging around. They've been fighting. And, hopefully when they get back to the Bell Center up there and it gets rocking, that they can get some momentum, make that series a little closer than it already is. Shout out to Alex Alexeyev. So Faravarvi is out for the season, the defenseman for Washington. He had, I believe, knee surgery. So they bring this dude in. Game 1, takes a cross check to the teeth.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, Dan. Ooh,
and
he lost
and I was like,
his teeth.
yeah, I was like, damn. And hey, shout out to the ice crew. So like, if you're ever watching a game and you'll see like when they have a stoppage in play and they have like a TV timeout and they stay at the rink, you see the guys with the shovels going around getting the snow off the ice. They actually found his teeth in the snow,
which is a good thing, right?
Yeah, which is a great thing. So you try to put him back in later.
Yes.
But yeah, he man didn't miss a beat. Put the bubble on, full clear shield, and he was back out there last night playing. So kudos to him. We'll see how that series goes after they get back to Montreal. I'm kind of excited to see Montreal at home because remember back in the bubble they made a little bit of a run there,
right?
And then we got Carolina and New Jersey. I feel bad for New Jersey. They had a rash of people get hurt the other night. I think Hughes is out, Dillon's out. Cody Glass, who got traded there from Pittsburgh, his own goalie, he tried to slash the opposing player in front of the crease, and Cody Glass was coming through the crease, and he was the recipient of the slash right across the arms. So I don't know how bad he is, but Carolina is Freddie Anderson's the key. If they can keep him healthy, now mind you, he's been out most of the season, and from what I understand, this last knee surgery that he had kind of took care of the nagging injury that he's had with his knees. So he only played, I think, 21 games this year, so he's going to be fresh. So hopefully he could stay healthy and they can go on a run. But they're looking really good. They got a really good defensive core, down there in Carolina with Slavin and Burns and Goss Despair and I was at Chatfield. So, and you got Aho and these guys up front with Svechnikov. So, I expect New Jersey to win one or two out of this series. And then with the Battle of Florida, it's like, this is the thing, I guess that the NHL, as much as I bitch about how the playoff format is, I still don't like it. But, Battle of Ontario, you got Battle of Florida. So now,
some picks, yes. Excuse me, matchups.
Yeah. So, and this going back to, that was why it was so huge for Toronto to win the division. Because instead of having to play Florida, Tampa Bay, they're obviously, getting to play Ottawa.
Right.
A wild card team. And like I said, the talent difference on the rosters, if they play the way that they've been playing, they should beat Ottawa. But that's what I'm saying. Like with the Tampa Florida series, they're playing right now in Tampa. Florida's up 1-0 on a Nate Schmidt goal. And Ryan, where you at, buddy? I remember you asked me when we were doing the Four Nations about.
I think Ryan stepped away for a second.
That's okay. I'm still gonna make the point. With Tkachuk being hurt and not being able to play, is it worth it? At the end of the day, if he can play in the playoffs, that's what they need him for. They have enough talent on that roster. Like I said, that I believe that they could, could they maybe won the division if he was there? Maybe. But they know after the last two seasons of going to the Cup Finals losing, then the next year going to the Cup Finals and winning, they know what it takes to win the Cup. So they know get in. That's all you need to do is get in.
Dan, excuse me 1 second.
With the first pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select. Oh, come on, Goodell, you're too damn slow, old man.
Bobby Boucher.
My mama said. My mama said.
DA, who did they pick? The people want to know.
He ain't said yet, Kev. I'm ahead of what you call him, but Cam Ward.
Okay, thank you, sir.
That's
like, man, your TV is like way behind.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, man.
Adjust the aluminum foil on the antennas.
Listen, the chipmunks ate my foil, so this is where we're at now.
Real quick before we get back to Dan's segment, I don't know why it took them the whole 10 minutes to. You've had to pick the whole time, man.
This is why I say, Kevin, I'm out on the draft. Done.
Shout out to Aunt Mary. Aunt Mary's watching, man. Thank you, Aunt Mary, for chiming in. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Cam Ward, he gets to pick Jacksonville Jaguars. They're on the clock. Dan, go ahead, sir.
No, you're good. But like we were saying, yes, they would like him to play the rest of the season and not be out hurt? Yes. But guess what? He's back now. He's well rested. And what did he do in game 1? 2 goals and an assist. So that's a completely different team that's playing right now.
Yes.
Than played in the regular season. Because not only did you get to Chuck back, but who got suspended? Ekblad?
Oh yeah, for the PED thing or whatever he had. Yeah.
Well, I believe this is game 3, and that's when he was scheduled to be back. So
correct. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So they get one of their top D men back. So yeah, it's kind of like that the last couple of years. Like we talked the old LTIR stuff with Vegas and Mark Stone being out and magically is back game 1 of the playoffs. So they could get, that's probably part of the way that they got Brad Marchand in that trade is, having to chuck on the LTIR freed up some money. And guess what? Salary cap doesn't count in the playoffs. So, wow. But that's the East. I like Florida because they won 5-2 first game of this series. They're up 1-0 now, and they're just kind of imposing their will on Tampa here. Like I haven't really seen a whole lot from Kucherov. They've been able to slow him down. And I like Carolina too.
So you looking for Carolina? You think Jersey will get a game? It's too old to go back to Jersey.
I think they'll get maybe 1, 2. It really depends when they get back to Jersey. If they can get any of these guys back that are hurt, like missing Hughes is huge. He's a really good player for them. And Dylan, the defenseman. So they need to get some guys back healthy, but they need to kind of get a quick start, get a couple goals on Carolina, and play with the lead for a little bit, and kind of force Carolina into a different game because Carolina is relentless on the forecheck. They just dump it and go get it. But that's the Eastern Conference, and then I believe 9:00 is Vegas and Minnesota game 3.
Yep.
And then 9:30 is going to be Winnipeg at St. Louis. So speaking of them, Winnipeg's up 2-0 in that series. I only caught a little bit of this series.
But, which one? The Winnipeg and
the Winnipeg one.
Yeah.
So, but Winnipeg was your President's Trophy winner. They had the most points this year, so we'll see if the curse continues. But you got Hellebuck and goal, probably the best goaltender right now in the NHL. Shifley, Connor.
He was money in the what's that? The Four
Nations
tournament.
Yeah. So that's like we talked about football. If you have a quarterback, you got a chance. Same with hockey. If you got a really good goaltender, like Logan Thompson basically probably stole that game last night because he just stoned Montreal all third period. But then probably this is probably one of the better series that I've watched. It's the Dallas, Colorado.
Oh yeah, we talked about that the other night. Yeah.
Colorado won game 1. And they come back and they were up in game 2. And Dallas came back and scored and forced overtime. And they end up winning in overtime. Then they go back to Colorado last night. And same thing. They tied it late. I think it was Sagan got the game winner. But they won it in overtime. And they're up 2-1. But like if you look through like both rosters, it's just slam packed full of talent. Like this is going to be one of those series that whoever wins in overtime is going to win it in the series. Like I think most of these games there won't be a blowout unless it's like a game 6 or whatever.
Right.
And just it's over. But
Dan, if I may, I don't know where DA went. Looks like the Jaguars they went up and they picked Travis Hunter. They traded Ryan. You was on it. What it looks like, I couldn't pay attention, but they look like they traded a bunch of draft picks to the Browns.
Yeah, look like Cleveland got their 5th pick. Got Jacksonville's 5th pick and their 1st round pick for next season. And now I'm hearing like Jacksonville wanted is one of the few teams that
really wanted
that's excited to play him both ways.
Okay.
Like they're like we're playing him both ways. It's not like, no, hey, can I play both ways? They didn't have to sell. They didn't have to do any selling on that point. They want to use him both ways.
Okay.
I think that's a big thing to do with it too.
So, no excuses maybe for Trevor Lawrence no more being that. Well, I don't know. We'll talk about that later. Dan, go ahead, continue, man. So the Jaguars, they get the second pick. They get Travis Hunter. Go ahead, Dan.
And then, like I said, that series should be a nail biter the whole way. And then, the game tonight, Minnesota and Vegas. Minnesota was kind of in the same boat where Kaprizov, he wasn't in the Four Nations tournament that he got hurt, but he got hurt. But this is the other one. The other team in the bracket that is not really the same team that played, in the regular season that towards the end. Like they did a good job by staying afloat, staying in the playoff hunt. But now they got Kaprizov back, they're looking really good. Like they hung tight in the first game, and Vegas was able to get the W in that game. Mm-hmm. And then they I think, what was it, 5-2? I think it was the other night that I saw. Yeah, it was 5-2. And Kaprizov was in his own end, like just the top of the circle, and it just threw a dime of a saucer pass, like about 4 feet in the air, landed right on Boldy's stick for a breakaway. And he went in with a guy on his back and went in and buried the puck for the first goal of the game. Like, Minnesota's legit. Like, they got a really good goalie in Gustafson.
Right.
They got a couple of young kids on defense, Farabee, and I can't pronounce but it was one of the kids from college. There's a Byam. They threw him out there in game 1. So that Vegas got to have their handfuls with Minnesota. And of course, Fleury's backing them up, and this is his last season. I'd like to see them get a little bit deeper in the playoffs to see him play maybe a game.
Well, yeah, but Minnesota, they made it to the conference finals against Edmonton last year. So
yeah, they just kind of got hit with the injury bug there late in the second half of the season, and like the Four Nations break kind of helped Kaprizov be able to get healthy. The little extra 2-week break or whatever. So yeah, I like the that series too. I'd like to see Minnesota win. Wild card 1 beating one of the top seeds. I think they were probably the 2nd seed in the West. And then the last one. This is like usually where the Toronto side, it's almost like a mirror effect with Edmonton. So Edmonton and LA played the last 4 years. Edmonton's won the last 3. The tide is kind of flipped. LA is, I think, the best home team in the league. And like they had the most home wins in the league, but I think we were texting back and forth about game 1. They were up.
That was a really good game. That game 1.
Oh, that game was bonkers. Like they were up 5-2 with like 15 minutes to go in the third, and Edmonton. I don't know, something just clicked, but like Corey Perry scored. And then, Zach Hyman scored. Like they scored 3 goals in less than 2 minutes to tie the game. Or well, I guess 2 goals in like a minute. Or not even a minute, like 35 seconds. But that goal that McDavid scored down the boards and cut right in and just went. I mean, he just went right around the defenseman. But they were down 5-2, came back, tied it up 5-5, and then Philip Danault, the old knuckle puck, he got a pass in the slot and it was fluttering, and it was like a changeup. As soon as he shot the pocket, kind of just flopped off his stick, and I don't know how he didn't hit Fogel, who was standing right in front of the net, but it went past him and just barely grazed Skinner's shoulder and went in with like 42 seconds left. So they end up winning that one, and then they play. I think was it last night they played. Yeah, they played last night, and the Kings just dominated them. They won 6-2. I believe they pulled Skinner out of that game. Well, and poor Calvin Pickard, they threw him in. Next thing you know, here comes, I think it was Adrian Kempe, just blew one over his shoulder, had no chance.
So this is the third year they played in a row?
Fourth.
Gee whiz, in the first round.
First round. Wow. This is, I think, the first time maybe that LA had home ice.
Okay.
But yeah, like Kemper, he's playing great for them. Like this is one of those trades at the deadline that benefited both teams. Dubois went to Washington. He had a great season with them.
Mm-hmm.
Kemper went to LA. He's had a great season with them. So it's kind of like a change of scenery for both of them. And they both, benefited from that, and their teams benefited from it. But yeah, like this, what do I always bitch about Toronto? Man, they don't got any goaltending, and their defense stinks. Well, they addressed that. They got, Tana. But like I'm looking at like Edmonton, and I'm just like, yo, your goaltenders aren't really that good. Like they have moments where a couple game stretch where they play really well, but like Darnell Nurse, that one goal that LA scored, he completely left the front of the crease to go throw a hit on the boards where they line up, like the outside guy in the face-off would line up. That's where the guy was. And Byfield came right in behind him, took the puck and went in and buried it right up, over the shoulder of the goaltender. Like you can't really fault the goaltenders on Edmonton when you just give guys a free lane to the net. But like Bouchard, like Klingberg, they picked up Klingberg, but Kubiak and Wallman, like that reminds me, like I said, of the Toronto back end. Like you got good players up front with McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman, but I don't know. I don't know this is going to be Edmonton's year this year. They may not make it out of this series.
Wow, that says a lot.
But like I said, on the converse side, like Toronto, they actually, like Stolarz has been playing great for them. And now Morgan Riley actually has some help. Like you got McCabe, Carlo, Tanev, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Like they got some quality D there now that they can, like Tanev, he's a physical guy. Same with Carlo, where they can handle some of this. Because if you notice in the playoffs, where's everybody go? Front of the net. That's where whether you score a pretty goal, it doesn't matter. It could hit you in the rear end and go in. Doesn't matter as long as it goes in.
Dan, excuse me 1 second. D-Dubs, what do the Giants pick? You are muted, sir.
$5.
You still muted.
$10.
I'm here. I'm just waiting for it to come through.
Oh, it's Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter. That's what
Penn State.
Yeah, I've got an edge rusher. We need it. Put him on the other side where what's that Thibodeau's at, man. So
I thought they said they wanted to get rid of Thibodeau, trade him. But I think
that was a smoke screen. You said it the other night, D. He doesn't play bad. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's not a player at all.
No.
I think him and this guy, it becomes easier with this guy on the other side.
100%, right? So building within, right? So we'll talk about that. We'll do some draft prospects, draft reports and all that stuff later on. Dan, continue, man. Abdul Carter, he's the Giants pick at number 3. Go ahead, Dan.
But I kind of see in LA getting out of this series. I see Winnipeg probably getting out of the St. Louis series. Like I said, Dallas, Colorado is going to be a toss-up. And, Vegas and Minnesota. I think Minnesota can beat them because they got speed. Now Vegas is a big, heavy team, kind of like Washington and Florida. So they can wear them down. Wear down Minnesota, but I'm liking Minnesota in that series. So it'd be like LA and Minnesota, and then Winnipeg versus Colorado or Dallas. Because I think like LA has a legit shot to get to the conference final. And it depends on how bad Dallas and Colorado beat each other up.
Yeah.
Before they get to Winnipeg. Because I think Winnipeg's going to beat St. Louis. But like if they can kind of get out of that series, healthy, I think whoever plays Winnipeg will beat Winnipeg. But I would say like LA and then probably the winner of Colorado and Dallas will be in that Eastern Conference bracket. And that's kind of where the playoffs are right now. Like most teams have played 3 games, except for Tampa and Florida. I believe they must have had a scheduling conflict at the arena because they got a late start on their game. They didn't play till I believe Tuesday. So this is game 2. Yeah, Tampa.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this is on game 2.
Right. That's right. Yeah, I did hear about that. There was some kind of concert there or something like that.
So Toronto and Ottawa are 1-1 right now. Ottawa scored first on the power play, Giroux, and then Matthew Knees, he scored to tie it up on the power play too. So there were about 7 minutes to go in the second, tied at 1. Now that Ottawa kind of got a taste of the first game, like they hadn't been in the playoffs for a while, so I know it probably took them a minute to figure out like the intensity level you need to play at, and stop taking dumb penalties, like they did in the first game, so that Ottawa can hang around with this, but Toronto should beat them.
Okay.
And what are your Rangers doing, like to finish up?
Yes, I was going to ask you. That's just dysfunction, bro. They gave Drury another contract. I don't understand that, bro. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so you had all this dissension with what he was doing.
And you don't get rid of him?
And you get rid of the coach.
Yep.
But then you extend the guy that hired the coach. Like, I don't get it. But hey, that just leaves an open spot in that division.
Saving. But saving, whatever it is, that's what he did.
But he's gonna have his hands full because you guys got some older guys like Kreider, and you're gonna have to make some changes.
Yeah, because how do you go from being
114 points in the President Trophy winner to sitting in golfing in Cabo with the rest of the 8 teams that didn't make it, or 16 teams?
They didn't even go to Cabo. They went to Key West, bro.
So, I ain't got no words from them.
They went to Long Island.
Yeah, Fire Island out there in Long Island.
Yeah,
yeah, true that.
Kevin, no.
What's that?
Nope. Nope. That'll get us. Yeah.
What, Fire Island? What's wrong with Fire Island? You never been to Fire Island? You muted. Okay, I don't. Okay.
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay. Go ahead, Dan. Finish up.
But like, he's gonna have a lot of work to do, and like I know they did like a players poll at the end towards the end of the season, and a lot of players said that they would still like to play in New York, even with the dysfunction that they had. But knowing that he's still there, I don't know. Are they going to be able to attract some free agents to come there?
Yeah, because players talk.
And it depends on who you hire as a coach, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's their philosophy and what? And
yeah. Are you going to be a Tortorella type and yell at everybody?
No, I don't want that guy. We've seen that act before. Next.
Don't work.
No, just get somebody new and fresh, young.
Well, they had a list of possible candidates, and one of them was what's his name from the Penguins? Sullivan.
Okay.
Did they were interested in him if he's available? So I don't know if they can make a trade, trade some picks or whatever for him. I don't know.
Yeah. Gotcha. Anything else, Dan?
That's about it. Just it's been really good that like almost every night's had at least 3 hockey games on. Like I got the command center up now. Got Toronto and Ottawa playing on one, Florida and Ottawa on the other. And probably here in about another half hour, I'm gonna have to find another monitor so I can pull up the Vegas Minnesota game.
Yeah. Gotcha, man. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Dan K, the hockey dude.
That horn actually sounds like Pittsburgh Paints. It is. That's the Pittsburgh goal song.
I know what I was doing. Yeah.
Yeah, Party Hard.
Yeah. For you.
That's the actual song. The dude's
Yes.
dude's from Pennsylvania. It sings that.
Gotcha, man. I didn't want to put a host on this so we don't get a copyright strike. Yes. I just play the bar.
Yep, I heard it.
All right, we got the NBA. Ryan's up next with the NBA. Ryan.
What up?
Ryan.
Yo.
Memphis. They're not gonna get a game against what you call it. They don't.
They'll get a game. They'll get a game.
No.
They'll get a game.
They'll get one game.
They'll get a game. Yeah, they'll get a game.
They
No,
lose-
they'll get a game. I'll give them one game. It'll be a gentleman's sweep.
Okay.
So Ryan.
I'm always positive, man. Yeah,
Nah,
they'll get a game.
Yeah, yo, man. If you had an issue with a K, yeah, we would call you positive K for sure. Man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Listen, dog. I watched the last game. Everybody had a towel on their head. Those cats out there in Memphis have given up.
Yeah.
And OKC is just that much better than them.
No, they are. No, they are. But remember, Memphis is coming off. Memphis is coming off playing 2 very, very, very physical playing games. One on Tuesday and one on Friday. They only had, I want to say, they only had like 36 hours of rest, and they had the early game on Saturday. So I mean, everybody knew that was coming, but I think they'll get it.
Everybody knows it came twice, though, right?
Yeah, but on OKC's home floor, they're going back to Memphis. They can get a game in Memphis. I mean, you just said they're that much better than them, so they're not going to beat them in OKC, but they'll get a game in Memphis.
Yeah, I don't
yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I mean, they might.
Will Campbell tackle LSU.
D, you supposed to wait.
Damn, sorry. I think it's slow.
No, dog.
Jesus Christ.
DA with the pick. Who the Patriots pick?
Will Campbell, LSU.
Left tackle. Yeah.
Huh.
6'5", 319.
And you can see Bravo doing that, trying to establish the interior.
Yeah, get the run game going.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
He's good though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, LSU product. Yeah, no doubt. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, man. Just great games last night. We had the Rockets and the Warriors in the late game. Rockets tying. It was a good game as far as physicality goes and just straight competitiveness. On both ends. Trash talking. Flagrant fouls here and there. Defense being played, but Rockets was gonna win. Rockets came out on fire. Jalen Green, Mr. Houdini. He game 1 he had 7 points and then
7 points.
And then last night he had 38
points. Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen a guy who can look so bad and then the next game look like he's the next coming of one of the great shooting guards.
Yeah.
Because he has the makeup, right? Jalen Green has the makeup. He has he's 6'6", he's crazy athletic. He can hit big shots. So he has all the makeup of one of those upper echelon 2 guards that we've seen in the past who has that type of size and type of athleticism. Not saying he's going to be that, but he just has the makeup as the skill set. He just has to put it together. He's very inconsistent.
We ain't gonna believe you until you're consistent.
Right, but there's no doubt. But
he has the talent,
man.
Like he's great.
I mean, no doubt about the talent. So yeah, man. And then I know you guys probably saw that Jimmy Butler got hurt in the first quarter of that game with when he fell on his back. It was
the accident.
Yeah, it was an accident. Everybody in Golden State saying that he did it on purpose, but I find it funny that the Golden State people are now crying foul, and they got Draymond Green on. And they got Draymond Green on their team. Like, calm down a little bit. Have some awareness when it comes to that. But
I agree.
But I always thought it was going to be a long series anyway. So that was good to see. So that's one of the big games. The Heat and Cavaliers last night. Cavaliers was up big. Heat made a nice comeback, cut it to 2 with like 2 minutes left. But Donovan Mitchell, man, hit some tough shots. Yeah, hitting some tough shots, man. So they're up 2-0. Then we had last night, we had the Magic and Celtics. Celtics are also up 2-0, winning both games in Boston. Another physical series, man.
No Tatum.
Yeah, with no Tatum, but Orlando's another defensive team like Houston, who can struggle on offense, but they're gonna bring it to you on the offensive end. So yeah, man, just a lot of physical play, man. Like, the refs have really swallowed their whistles. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. They're letting them play. They're letting them play. So
I say, Porzingis, didn't he get the people's elbow?
Yeah, he got
busted. He got busted open.
He got busted
open. I think it said a whole bunch of stitches, and he came back in the game. And what's funny is the coach Mazzulla is like, he's a UFC guy. I know he trains with like UFC fighters and stuff like that. He was like, "Oh, I was happy to see him bleed." I'm like, "Damn."
You in the wrong sport, coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Bruins. Steph got mad at me.
Was that DA?
I was watching something this morning, right?
Yeah.
So talking about what Udoka said, the coach for Houston.
Yeah.
He said, we're going to be physical. This is what we do.
Right. We've been
doing this all year. This is not new for us.
So they don't have to turn up. They're already turned up.
So we're not turning anything up. This is the way we play all the time.
Exactly.
The guys got mad, like, you can't say that you like the physicalness. You like to do this. You can't.
This
because the referees might not like that. Because I'm like, whoa. If this is how this team plays, this is how this team plays all the time. Like, there's not a situation where you're saying, they're doing something dirty now. They've been doing whatever they do, whether you call it dirty or hard defense or whatever, the last 82 games.
Yep.
Well, this is the problem. This is the problem with this media. I'm so sick of them, man.
The coach shouldn't say things like that.
Well,
but why?
They're trying to say he shouldn't say it because now they're going to call a title whistle for Curry and things like that. I think that's the angle that they're coming from.
Yeah,
but Ime didn't say nothing that he's like, look.
I think they're reaching. I think that's reaching.
It is reaching. Like,
that's a reach.
Ime basically said, look, I don't have to tell my guys it's going to be more physical. We already play physical. We already like that. Like Draymond Green's tactics just fuels Houston. They want that. You know what I'm saying? They got Tariq Easton, Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson. You know what I'm saying? Even Sengun will get in with you, man. You know what I'm saying?
So you want to act tough, Draymond. You want to act like you want the smoke. So we're gonna give it to you.
Yeah,
we turned up too.
Yeah, so
I'm loving it. I'm thinking this is a great series.
Right. So basically, he's saying
right up my alley.
This is how we play. And he basically said, look, just keep doing it. If they ain't gonna call it, just keep doing it.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Keep playing. We all know in an NBA game, you have even players have to adjust, just like referees have to adjust. Sometimes the referee might have a quick whistle, and you as a player have to adjust. During the game. So if they're not calling it, just keep doing what you're doing.
Excuse me 1 second, sir. Yeah. Pickens in for the Browns. They select
Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. He's a 3-4. He plays over the center. He can also play between the guard and tackle. Strong cat, can hold his point where he's at. Big dude, like one of those big heavy leg dudes. So he's a tree stump. He can play.
Got you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Ryan.
Yeah, man. So just piggybacking on what everybody's saying. Yeah. So Ime is just basically saying, look, you don't have to turn us up. You can't, and you're not going to turn us down neither, because one,
turn down.
They're super deep.
Turn down for what?
Right, exactly. For real. So So they're super deep. So if somebody gets in foul trouble, never know mine. We'll go.
Hey,
we'll
you
bring
can't cross the line if you can't find the line.
That's true. That's true. So
damn.
yeah, man. So we'll see, man. And in that game one, you know, for as bad as Houston played, their starting backcourt went 7 for 36, and they only lost by 10 points. And that's with Curry and Butler scoring over 30. So and one thing is that's not going to change. The Rockets are always going to win the boards. They're going to rebound. They're the best offensive rebounding team, best defensive rebounding team, and you know, when they go to that big lineup with Sengun and Steven Adams, it's a problem. So and you know a team is in trouble in a game when they start going to the hack a player to put him on the free throw line to get him out the game. Yeah. So I'm like, the Rockets got this game. So, you know, but the thing is now, you know, we saw in the game last night, you know, Jonathan Kuminga was a bunch, you know, he wasn't getting any playing time with the playing games. And now with Butler out, it's going to have, you know, he played 24 minutes. And, you know, and you could tell he was rusty. He looked like a guy who hasn't played, you know, in a real game in 2 weeks. So
that's what happens.
And that's what happened. So I don't understand how he can't get any minutes. Like I'm like,
this is a former first round pick, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure what's wrong with Steve Kerr. Is not good with big men at all. So you know, he's just not good.
Yeah, but he's not even a big. He's a wing.
Yeah, but he's a big wing for that team. They don't really have.
Well, for that, that's true. For that team, that's a great point.
For that team, he does. You know, he really doesn't have anybody. You know,
right? But
you would play people, and you don't know why he doesn't play them.
Yeah, because I understand the logic at first, because what happened was when Kuminga he rolled his ankle, sprained it really bad, rolled his ankle. He was out for like 16 games, and then they made the Jimmy Butler trade, right? And then they went on this win streak, and you know, and they were, you know, everything was flowing, and they wanted to bring him back, you know, easy, and they played him a little bit, and then all of a sudden they just took him out the rotation, like
because there were still minutes for him in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah, so
those DMPs, it's like what? Why would you?
Right, like he's your most athletic wing.
Yeah, he's probably the most athletic player on the team.
Right, like it's dumbfounded to be like he's not going to play in this Rocket series where all the Rockets have is long, you know, defensive wings, you know, and not for nothing. Jonathan Kuminga, his best performances came against the Rockets this year.
Yeah,
he had 30 points, 20 points. You know what I'm saying? So he against Houston, so we'll see. So Jimmy was supposed to get scheduled for an MRI on his hip, or they said pelvic.
Pelvic today.
Yeah. So nothing's come out. His agent tweeted, "Pray for the beer." I don't know what the hell that means. So you know we'll see what it is. Because here's the thing. They're getting 2 days rest. They don't play until Saturday because it's the travel day, right? So they're going to get 2 days. They'll play on Saturday. You know, even if he can play, is Jimmy going to be, you know, Jimmy with that? With you know, he's going to be hobbled. So do you sit him out? You know, game 3 and try to steal it, and then bring him back game 4, or what if he misses the next week and a half or something like that with this injury? That's going to be tough, man. Because now Houston will be able to focus just on Steph and throw bodies at him and double him and make him a passer and make it hard on him. So it's hard to do that when Jimmy's out there, right? Because Jimmy can create, Jimmy can go one-on-one, Jimmy can make basketball plays and set everybody up and get assists, and Jimmy's not going to turn the ball over. If you see Draymond and Curry, they're very loose with the ball. It's a lot of turnovers. When you get them sped up, when you get them sped up with Jimmy is a calming factor for them. And when he went
very rare that he turns over.
Jimmy's gonna play to his strength, and Jimmy's gonna play at his speed and get to his spots. He's a very calming factor for his team, and you can tell when Jimmy went down.
Yeah.
Draymond was straight. Steph was straight, But them young fellas were like,
yeah,
they were shook. And
Deer in the headlights.
They still played well. But hey, man, if he's going to be hobbled, whether he plays or not, he's going to be hobbled. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
The pick is in.
Huh?
Go ahead.
The Raiders picked Ashton Jeanty, running back, Boise State.
I like him.
He's probably the best running back in the draft.
Who got him?
Raiders.
Oh, that's a great pick.
Yeah, we just got to see what time, because they didn't have a great line last year. So he may be in, Saquon Barkley thing for a few years. And, we just hope he doesn't get hurt before they get it together and get an offensive line in there. So, but yeah, that's what I see for them. If they need anything, they can get on offense. So
they're going to feed him the ball.
Yeah,
they're going to feed him the ball, and it's the new coach who
Pete Carroll,
Pete Carroll, who's known for wanting to run the ball, except for goal line in the Super Bowl. But
Ryan,
you know what I'm saying? But seriously, that's just a great. Them picking him that early as a running back tells me, we're going to utilize him.
Yeah, they're going to have to, and the offensive line is not bad. It's not great. Jacobs had problems with them, so we'll see how they're reconstituted, because you're going to need that. If not, like I said, you may have a Saquon Barkley situation where you draft a kid high, and he kind of has to fend for himself for the first 2 years. With the offensive line, Saquon did great things. So this kid may do the same until they get an offensive line that fits him. So
right.
But they might in the offseason. Who knows? We have to wait and see.
Good point.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Right now, man, your Knicks, I believe, are up 3.
Yes.
In the third, 72-69. The Knicks are up 3. That series tied 1-1. That's I got to be honest, man. The Knicks are lucky to be up. To be just tied 1-1. They should be down 2-0. Detroit has outplayed them for basically all but that one quarter where, they went on that 21.
Yeah, 21 point right. But fine, last game, Cat can't be playing no games in this series where he doesn't score a point and a half. That is
right. I understand that, but to me, that's not on Cat. That's a point. That's a point guard. That's a coach. That's an assistant coach. That's anybody. Look, Cat doesn't bring the ball up.
I got
Cat can't. Cat is not Giannis, not KD, where he can just bring the ball up and get his own shot. It's got to be set up for him. So if you're not running Cat in the high post and putting him down on the block every now and again, that's on coaching. That's on the point guard. I'm not putting any fault on Cat with this. I'm not, because what's he gonna do? Go and yell at Brunson. I mean, even Tibbs is like, Brunson's going to go put his cape on. So what you're telling me is he's gonna go out, he's gonna go put his cape on and play hero ball, and that's what he was doing. It was straight hero ball from Brunson, and it was a lot of foul baiting. He was out there foul baiting all night long.
Listen, I'm with you on that. I'm sick of him doing that. That was atrocious what he did last game. I was like, dude, get up. There was the call right there at midcourt with what's his name?
He's on the floor every 2 minutes. He's on the floor trying to draw the foul.
I'm like, come on, dog, get up.
And he's fantastic.
Yes, he doesn't need to do all of that.
He's fantastic.
So you made a good point. Yeah, you good point. Because I think I sent you an article. You said about coaching, right?
Yeah.
And who does Van Gundy? Clippers. And they were saying how he's been a great addition to the Clippers and the coaching and this whole renaissance for Kawhi Leonard, so to speak.
Right.
Now that he's back healthy, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, and that's what your assistant coaches are there for. Like, I get it. Brunson's Brunson is 1A, 1B option with him and Cat, but he's the guard. He's gonna have the ball in his hands. So if I'm seeing that Cat doesn't have a touch in the whole second half, I'm like, run play 195 or whatever it is for Cat, or go screen and roll with him and Cat and pick and pop something, but get him the ball, because one, we all get on Cat, right, for his defense. He was playing good defense.
Yeah,
He was blocking shots. He was changing shots.
Yes, he was.
Especially in game one.
Agreed.
But if you don't give your big man the ball, he's not going to want to go out there and especially a guy who's offensive like Cat. If you're not giving him, his touches on offense, his defense is going to struggle. That's just how it's always been in the NBA. So so it's that to me is on Brunson. It's on Tibbs. And if you're scared to talk to Brunson, hell, his daddy's on the bench. Let his daddy talk to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And to Brunson's point, Brunson said, I have to do a better job of getting them the ball in the press conference. So he took ownership and accountability for that. That's one thing I do like about Brunson. He does take accountability. If things go wrong, he'll he doesn't mind getting the glory, but he also doesn't mind taking the blame and holding himself accountable. And I respect him for that. And he's very clutch. He's very clutch. I mean, he just won the clutch player of the year in the NBA. Mm-hmm. So he's very clutch. But he does foul bait, and I think it's a skill. Don't get me wrong. I'm not poo-pooing it. Hell, I watched James Harden for 8 years in Houston foul bait. And I was all for get to the free. That's a skill. That's a skill. Now, if you can manipulate the referees in the game, that's a skill. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to try to get an advantage. That's why we have torpedo bats and all this other crap. You know what I'm saying? In sports, because you're trying to gain an advantage. And trash cans and all that stuff. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you said it, not me.
I did. But
balls.
Right, but that's what it is. He's just trying to gain an advantage, and I can't be mad at that if he can manipulate the game and get to the free throw line. That's it's a skill to me. So I'm not gonna say stop doing it if he doesn't get the. So when he doesn't get the call, then it looks really bad, right? It looks like he's out there just floundering like a fish because he's not getting the call. And in the playoffs, what do we always say about James Harden? Oh, he doesn't get those calls in the playoffs, right? And that's why you saw some of his struggles in the playoffs. Now he had some great games, but they're not just gonna parade you to the free throw line when you're hunting for the fouls all the time.
True.
Good point.
Yeah. But I think just from watching it recently, I do think the Clippers have become one of the most dangerous teams on the West Side.
Oh, they are, bro.
So
no doubt about that, bro. You have Kawhi playing the way he's playing.
Yeah.
And I know I already brought him up. And shout out to Harden though, man. Everybody thought Harden was washed. Everybody's like saying, "Oh, why'd you get rid of Paul George and you should have got rid of Harden." Harden's been fantastic, man.
Well, Harden can do two things. Paul George only could do one, even at his best, is score. Harden could assist. He could lead the league in assists.
Well, he's done it twice.
He's
done it twice in his career. Yeah. He's one of the only players who's led the league in assists and scoring.
Yeah, so that's why you keep Harden, because you can get two things out of him.
That's true. It's a good point.
That's why you keep him.
Yeah,
I guess with Kawhi being rested for the last 3 years, the mid-ranger is back, baby.
Right.
The power mid-ranger. So
yeah, and one thing about Kawhi though, man, like this dude will miss like 30 straight games or a year, and as soon as he plays, he looks the same. Like he ain't
miss a beat.
Exactly.
That's
like he ain't miss a beat.
Like he doesn't need any warm-up time. He doesn't need anything to get. I need 5 games to get me going. No. If he's playing, he's balling. Period. I gotta respect that. I know,
Yeah.
Yeah, who the Jets
picked? Armand Mabou, offensive tackle, Missouri. Right. He's a great player out there. He had a lot of good games against good SEC competition.
His arms are not too short, is it?
No, I think he's going to play on the right side though.
Oh, he's not a 32 or a 33. I mean, they
he'll be all right.
His hands good though. His hands big enough.
His hands are big. When he shot big enough. Upside the head.
The NFL will be killing me with that.
I'm never taking y'all to the draft.
He's a knee bender. He's not a back bender.
He has a size 10 shoe. He's not going to run effectively. Come on, dog, stop.
What's funny though, and we'll get back to the NBA. What's funny is DA said something a long time ago. He said, "Man, what are we doing reinventing the wheel, man? We got tape, but as Ryan and DA always said, man, it's a TV show, man. So they're just trying to say,
yeah. I know.
It's a business, but you got 3 years of tape, dog. It's not like NCAA basketball where a kid may be there 1 year. You got to stay in college 3 years playing football. So you can't get out of it. So kind of is what it is.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, also too, man. Tonight, Evan Mobley was named Defensive Player of the Year.
I saw that.
So now,
congratulations.
his max extension he just signed. Now he gets an additional 50 million, something like that, either 50 or 60 more million dollars on his contract. So, yeah. So kudos to Evan Mobley for winning Defensive Player of the Year. I think Draymond came second and Daniels was third, or vice versa.
Listen, let me tell you something, Ryan.
Yeah,
I've watched Draymond all year, and he's done more defending on the podcast than he's done on the court. So
I agree with you with that, bro. Like to me, defense is also getting defensive rebounds. He doesn't even rebound. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say he's not a good defender, because obviously he is. But there's other things than just help defense and causing a stir, and you get under somebody's skin, and
I promise you, Ryan. And I'm not saying I'm old, so it's not ageism. But what I'm saying is there are young dudes from teams like Houston, from teams like OKC, teams like Orlando that are doing far more defensively, and you still want to name this old fart to even being in the conversation, passing over dudes that you can tell watching games during the season that cat is doing more.
Right.
So we have to, as a league, jump out of that crap, man, and continue to,
uplift the young kids.
Never we say it, but we have to start watering the grass, watering the seeds that we have.
No, that's a good point. Not only that too, right? I can contribute his so-called rise in defense, because early in the season nobody was talking about him for Defensive Player of the Year.
No.
It's kind of when Jimmy came, and now you had another defensive stalwart with you that could take pressure off you, and now you can cheat a little bit more, and then when they went on that streak, then he wants to talk about Defensive Player of the Year when they went on that streak.
I would like Houston to have Sengun destroy him in the post for a whole game, right? And then when he
ethered him on that first dunk in game 1. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah,
and and actually battle with Steven Adams on the board. And you'll see what we're talking about, because
he's undersized, right? I'm not. He's undersized. He's like 6.
But then listen, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
So is Rodman. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
He's going to get out there and kick somebody in the nuts, because that's what he does.
Yeah, he ain't no Rodman, bro.
He's not. But he talks like he is. So
right.
You talk like you are, homie.
What's
This is one of
Go ahead, DA.
Tyroa McMillan from Arizona is going to Carolina. This is one of East Coast Gridiron's dude. They said this dude here is absolutely, positively the best wide receiver in this draft, like bar none. 6'4", big body. He's like the dude that plays for Tampa Bay, Mike Evans. So he's another Mike Evans.
I would have Vlac. You still in here? He was telling me they should take Walker from Georgia.
Yeah, this dude here is the best. They said this dude here is bar none the best wide receiver in the draft. And watching this film from Arizona, yeah, he catches everything. His catch radius is big. He's a big kid, 6'4", 230 pounds or something. He's a big dude, man. I'll probably see him in Charlotte, So it's, he's a Samoan kid. Looks like, he goes hard. So, because those kids are crazy. So, there you go. Or he might be from Hawaii. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, those kids are crazy. So, He's a big dude too. He's a big dude. If you're looking at him on stage, he's a lot bigger than the commissioner, and I mean like bigger, like some of the linemen that were just hugging him. He's taller than them, so he's a big boy.
Yep, 6'4", 219.
Yeah, he's a big dude. They're gonna put another 4 on him, 5. You know, that weight you gain there is good weight, so they're just gonna have him lifting and eating protein, everything. So, and his tape is good. So, and I, like you said, Kev said this Monday with the quarterback from Carolina getting better. If the owner can stay away from it and they keep building it the way they're building it,
they're gonna be fine. Yeah, Carolina's gonna be all right, man. People be wanting to return to 860 Mint Street, South Mint Street. So, so good for them, man. All right, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, that's basically what I got, bro.
What about these Lakers and Timberwolves? What you think about that?
Lakers and Timberwolves, bro. I think that's going 7, bro.
I'm like, it's weird. Like,
Minnesota's good, man. Minnesota is good.
I think this, yeah, and I think that's a really bad matchup for the Lakers because of their size at the forward position. They got guys that can guard, are big enough for LeBron. Not saying they'll beat him or they're better, but they can throw 2-3 guys at him that's his size.
Yeah,
and one is the 6th man of the year every year, and you know, for whatever Luka does, Ant-Man is going to, match him numerically, essentially. So there's going to be some places where they need to catch up a little bit, but the Stifle Tower plays well because they don't have anything in LA to, I think, even they don't have a center. Jackson Hayes, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's about all they got. So
right, and they literally play him to start the game, and if he's not even remotely effective, he doesn't play the rest of the game. They just go they just go small, and get their wings out there with LeBron. And try to play fast. Yeah, so yeah, man, like it's all gonna be on their 3 guys that can score. It's gonna be on Luka, it's gonna be on Austin Reeves, and of course LeBron, right? But the further these series get, you're gonna be able to wear. You're gonna be able to. They're gonna get worn down. It's like the same situation with Golden State. They gotta finish these series quick. They're trying to get the now just say Golden State beats Houston. No. That's gonna be physical. So you're gonna already be beat up, and then if the Lakers beat the T-Wolves, they're gonna get beat up. Then they're gonna beat each other up, and then you're gonna have the winner out of Denver, LA, or OKC just waiting for you, man. Like
the funny thing is, I believe this with the Lakers, and you're right. But I told my son the biggest problem with the Lakers is that they got 3 victims on defense. They got 3 dudes that don't play defense. So that's very hard to win a series when you got 3 guys. Now you can say, oh, they do some things here and there.
With no rim protection. So you're getting blown by with no rim protection.
Yeah, with no rim protection. And it's kind of weird to me why, like when you see this, you wonder why the heck don't they just, and that may be the difference between the Minnesota and the Houston, is not saying that the coach is bad in Minnesota, but they don't have the discipline, it seems, to do what would win them the, like, just drive to the basket all the time, right? And, make the refs make the calls or not. At least if they don't make the calls, what type of game you got, that they do make the calls, what kind of game you got, right? Just keep driving by, because you can drive by them whenever you want.
Yeah.
If you clear it out, you can drive by LeBron, AR-15, and Luka every play.
Yeah.
Every play. So, so where Houston plays a certain style and they don't know how to do anything else, that's why they're going to beat Golden State. Because
gentlemen,
they're old and they're going to hurt them up.
The Saints select
Kelvin Banks Jr.
Jr. Go ahead, DA. Thoughts on Kelvin Banks Jr.?
He's a good running back, man, but he played behind a really good line at Texas. So we're not sure how good yet, but
no, DA,
he's the tackle.
He's the tackle.
Oh, the tackle.
Meaning that his running backs ran good behind him.
His running backs run good behind him. But I got it wrong. So that's my Stephen A. Gaff. Apologize to everyone. He only allowed, I think, 4 sacks this year. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take the camera, but he's a big boy. He can play the game. Again, now they got the Shedeur Sanders watch because now he's dropping further.
That was a big pick for him.
Yeah, well, that's why they said that New Orleans, to Dan's point, was going to be the team that picked him. But I actually think it's a good deal. Like I said before, it's best to get picked after 15 if you're a quarterback. Yeah, listen, is it bad if you're backing up Josh Allen for a few years? A good team. I'm not really, I'm not mad. Like I said, Shedeur has money. That's not a big deal. They're not going to pay him more in his rookie contract than he has today.
Well,
so he'll be fine.
I said that was a big pick for him, just because you got the Bears.
That's the last place. I know
they don't need him. They got San Francisco. You got Dallas. You got Miami. You got the Colts.
San Francisco don't need him.
You got the Falcons. You got the Cardinals. You got the Bengals. You got Seattle, Tampa Bay, Denver, Pittsburgh at 21. And out of all those teams, the only one that needs a quarterback
is Pittsburgh.
It's Pittsburgh. And if we don't take them, then you got the Chargers, Green Bay, Minnesota, Texas, the Chargers, or the Rams, and then Baltimore, Detroit, Washington, Buffalo, Kansas City, and Eagles.
Though, Dan, real talk. The Rams might be a good look for him.
Oh, yeah.
Behind Matthew Stafford, who's only going to play like another year or two.
That would be the only other pick.
Brand new stadium. You got Puka
Nua.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Good wide receivers. They're rebuilding their offensive line. So yeah, the Rams might not be a bad pick for Shedeur Sanders. Real talk.
I mean, if the Steelers don't take him and the Rams don't take him, he's gonna be a second rounder.
Yeah. Like I said, I just believe that going that high in the draft as a quarterback is not what you really want.
Oh no, you're going high for a reason because they're terrible.
Yeah, it's a trash team. So
they're a trash team.
Yeah, well, you know what it means. Kev. Yeah. So the Bears, the pick is in.
Yeah, we'll make it to that. Ryan had to run. Thank you, Ryan, for let me get Ryan his little shine here. Did I hit the button there?
Pulls up 3-pointer. Bang!
Bang! Oh.
Wins the game at the buzzer.
Who wins the game?
That was Mike Breen with the call. So did they select the pick? Oh yeah, Pat. Yeah. Condolences to Steve McMichael's family. He's a Bear. The other day.
Big monster.
Yeah, big monster for real, for sure.
Big monster.
He was on that the Jim McMahon team. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That defense had
the defense let up no points, man. It just annihilated.
They were serial killers.
The Pats in that.
I think that defense scored more points than the opponent's offenses did.
Wow.
They were menaces. Those guys actually should have all been in jail. So
because they had Perry running for touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they got
the fridge.
Yeah, man, they did that to Walter Payton. That was whack.
Yeah,
Walter Payton. Wilbur Marshall. If you ever get a chance to watch the film of that man, he needs to be in jail for some of the things he did on the football field. Wilbur Marshall, not good, man. They were some hitters. They were hitters, brother.
Yeah. We'll wrap up here tonight. We're about to wrap up. The Bears about to make their pick, man. Good show tonight.
They took Loveland, the tight end from Michigan.
So why wouldn't they take the dude from
Penn State?
Penn State? Like, what the hell is that about?
Yeah, that is the best tight end and most versatile tight end in the draft.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, are you crazy? Like, the kid from Michigan is cool, but I really didn't see a whole bunch of him this year, besides the fact that they absolutely were trash. Michigan just wasn't good. So, and, it's weird. I haven't seen any Notre Dame players, for them being so close to the championship, and no Ohio State players. Yeah,
they give what's his name, another target, but yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't know why they don't take the other guy. The Niners are on the clock. Parting shots. We're gonna get out of here because I don't know who the Niners are gonna take, and DA might really start cussing.
Hey, at least we're past the half-hour mark.
Yeah, we're past the half-hour mark. Dan, what you got for us, man? Dan, thank you so much. I meant to tell you and Ryan on air. Thank you guys so much for me interrupting your segments for us as we get the picks in for the NFL.
That's
drive.
big news, bro. We can handle that. And shout out to Ryan for doing a great job too with the NBA. But
you know what? Yes, they got him as a Mark Andrews, which means he catches everything. He's a big guy at the rim. Mark Andrews. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Now you got Tyler Eifert.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Eifert's story is not yet,
told already.
Yeah. So I can't tell you how good Eifert's going to be because he got a good quarterback, but that dude don't stay on the field either. So I mean, much as dudes say, he doesn't stay on the field. So
gotcha. Go ahead, Dan. You was saying.
No, I was just saying we're getting to the nitty gritty here. Tampa Bay killed off a majority of a 5-minute power play that they got assessed. It's 1-0 with 1:44 left. Florida's still up 1-0 on the Nate Schmidt goal early in the first period, and Toronto's up 2-1 in Ottawa with probably, I think it was like 15 minutes to go in the third. And let me check the scores here because
shout out to the NHL for starting these games early too, because it looks like they want to get all these games early where the people on the East can watch some of the West Coast games at 9:30. Which so shout out to them.
Yeah, so I don't think they've dropped the puck yet in the Minnesota. They're probably delaying it at a hair,
just because this game is going on. Correct.
Because they're on TBS, but they might flip that game to TNT once the Florida game's done.
Right. Gotcha.
And then Winnipeg and St. Louis has still got another 12 minutes before it's supposed to start. Mm-hmm. But it's probably going to get delayed a little bit or get put on. Well, it says ESPN too. Yeah, so they'll have to throw it on a different channel if they're going to show it.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. All right, Dan. So that's all you got. Thank you so much, bro. No, party shots. Did you finish? I'm sorry. I know you was doing a little bit more.
Oh, no. I was just, updating where we're at in the games. No, great show. Shout out the angry one and Mike Mills. Saw he was in the comment roasting D-Dub on his Giants hat. And thank you to everybody in the comments chiming in and being here along with us. Just everybody be safe. Take care.
Thank you. DA, what you got for us? Thank you, Dan.
Same thing, sir. Everybody, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. And, we're going to try to keep doing what we do here. I just keep looking at the TV, so I'm thinking that maybe, guess what, Dan? We may take the dude from Penn State because Kittles is in contract negotiations. So
little leverage. There you go.
You got to have it.
And then you can never have enough tight ends because you got multiple sets and you got two of them, with Kittles and him that can catch the ball.
Yes, sir. It makes up for Debo not
being
there.
That's why, the Bears took Loveland. They probably had their reasonings, but I think I watched that kid from Penn State. He threw touchdowns. He ran touchdowns. He caught passes, caught touchdowns. That kid can do it all.
Right. Unless he's hurt, I'd take him. I think he would be the best available player. So, but we'll see.
Gotcha. I don't have anything heavy. Thank you for all those that's in the comments. Like the other fellow said, thank you. Appreciate Ryan. He had to run. D-Dubs had to run. Shout out to the angry one and to Mike Mills. Mike was in the comments. Thank you so much. Shout out to all those that's in the comments on or with us. Appreciate you, man. Hey, somebody that loves sports, man, let them know that, we're here on Mondays and Thursday nights, man, chopping it up. We need some more people in the in the comments for more engagement for the algorithm, man. So make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also hit the bells for all your for all those, so you can get all the notifications, man. So listen, we're going to get out of here so you can watch the rest of the draft and hockey and basketball, man. On behalf of myself, I'm Kevin L. Warren, your host and moderator for the DA, for Dan K, and for the rest of the crew. Yo, this is a Sports Chasers podcast. Y'all be good, be great, be blessed. Hey, we'll catch you on Monday night. Peace.
Peace.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms, and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then, stay frosty.